It's just peeping up. The sun is just arriving, and the birds are leaving and flying away. A priest's retreat. It's very dark for me. How's the screen for you? I'm trying to figure it out. I don't know why it's so dark here. Turned up the wrong thing. There we are. So now I can see what you can see better on the screen, as I had the light turned down for nighttime. So people, we've got glory, glorious morning, glorious sunrise. Lots of birds on the move this morning. It's lovely. Every morning there are people out capturing the glory to share with their friends. Isn't that a beautiful idea in life? To capture the glory to share with our friends. Everybody taking their pictures. Important it is to take it deeply into our own hearts. Capturing the glory, and that's what Ezekiel is doing today. He's capturing the glory. Maybe I should be up at the synagogue today, or inside the lobby at the Magdala Stone, because he's talking about the chariot of fire. And the chariot of fire is coming into Mesopotamia. Even though the temple is being renewed, the temple worship with Josiah in Jerusalem. And Ezekiel is saying that God's glory is appearing also among the pagans, in pagan territory, away from hometown Jerusalem, God's base, God's temple. That the chariot of fire, the throne of mercy, reaches far away. God is not bound by geography. God's action extends beyond the schemes we have in our minds. He reaches all kinds of people in all kinds of places and conditions. God's glory. Contemplating the presence of God in our lives. The language of Ezekiel it's a style of apocalyptic literature. Certain kind of revelation language, a genre that's a little unusual, that needs a little working into. And there it is, to help us to be amazed before God's glory. We need to be amazed before God's glory. Sometimes that happens in the silence, in the quiet, in the hiddenness, God's glory. And other times it's big celebration, big manifestation, like we just had the Feast of the Transfiguration. How is God appearing in my life? And it can be in times of trouble and in times of joy and bliss. In all times we can pray with the psalmist today, heaven and earth are filled with your glory. The gospel passage today, I find it incredibly revealing, and it happens in a little bit under a little bit of pressure. It happens in peer pressure or social pressure. It happens also very quietly, and we discover the glory of God. Look at this scene, it's amazing. So Jesus is back in Galilee in Capernaum, and Capernaum is right over here. These bushes that are just there right now in the middle ground of the picture, if we go on a straight line between that opening between the last bushes and the first and that gap there in the middle of it, actually I can see with my naked eye, I can see that white spot you can see there, but it's not very clear for you. It's right there in the middle of the screen. That's the white Orthodox church in Capernaum with the red roof. And that's Capernaum over there. And this is where this happened. And so the collectors of the temple tax approached Peter and said, "Does not your teacher pay the temple tax?" "Yes," he said. When he came into the house, before he had time to speak, Jesus asked him, "What is your opinion, Simon?" Before he had time to speak. So Peter bowed to the pressure, and he said, "Yes, we have a duty to pay the temple tax." And now, before anything else happens, Jesus already knows his thoughts. So there's the first revelation for Peter. Peter is experiencing a moment of revelation. He's discovering again for another time, because it happened quite often, this event, that Jesus knew their thoughts or their happenings. "What is your opinion, Simon? From whom do the kings of the earth take tolls or census tax?" And he says, "From those who are foreigners." Look at all the little birds disappearing before the big ones when they come in to take over the bush. This one just came in here as well. And Jesus said, "Well, if they're taken from foreigners, then the subjects are exempt." And then Jesus doesn't say he's subject, he's exempt directly. He says, "Go and get the tax from the fish's mouth, the first fish that you catch. And open its mouth, and you'll find a coin worth twice the temple tax." So there's a revelation about Jesus in charge of nature. He's revealing his being, who he is, what he knows. "Open its mouth, and you'll find twice the temple tax. Give that to them for me and for you." And here we have another revelation of Jesus, that he wants not to rock the boat at this moment. He's going to go ahead and rock the boat so that they'll crucify him by revealing his identity very frankly and formally. But in this case, he's taking his time. He's measuring his steps. It's not the moment. His time has not yet come. And there's a great thing about this discretion. Discretion is the better part of valor. It's a very wise saying. We don't always have to show force. And Jesus is being very simply gentle and meek. And this is part of the incarnation logic. This is why God became flesh. To enter into our lives gently, not noisily, There are very few big moments of big revelation like Mount Tabor and the Transfiguration. It's a very gentle revelation, a very gentle appearing of light, like dawn. Every morning, the light. When I was out swimming this morning, the light was so so gentle, so just coming little by little, lighting up the dark of the night, and the reddish fringe along the edge of the hills as the sun little by little came up but was not yet visible here. That gradual revelation. And now Peter is discovering another thing, that Christ is also revealing a very close friendship between him and Jesus. You pay for me and you. And it's revealing a great bond of trust, a great teamwork. And that's needed in leadership teams. And Jesus has incorporated Peter into his leadership team. You are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church. And the gates of hell will not prevail against it. I'm with you all the way. And I'm even with you in this little miracle that's between you and me. And you get that coin, and you go and you pay for the two of us. We're together in this, Peter. What a revelation of tenderness, of kindness, of gentleness. And this is a revelation that happens actually in every family. A little revelation of tenderness and kindness. You're very special for me. We're in this together. We're facing the challenges of life together. One person is hurt or tired or has a headache. And as couples age as well, it's a time of great tenderness. Sometimes nerves are tested because of failing abilities or promptitude in answering, and people might complain a little, but the tenderness with the other, to wait for the other, to help them up from their chair. We're in this together. We're building our lives together. We're heading together toward eternity, and we're going to support each other along the way. Peter, I'm going to be with you all the way. Even the day they crucify you, I will be particularly with you. When they crucify you upside down. He didn't say those words to Peter like that. But that's the lesson Peter is learning, and now he's going to be able for that kind of circumstance. What amount of revelation is in just this little story, this little account of an event here at Capernaum at the Sea of Galilee. Looking at the water here, seeing that same type of context. People, thank you very much. It's great to have you here this morning. God bless you. See you later, alligator. Say a prayer for the little videos we're doing this morning.